That is the Talking Points memo. Now for the top story tonight, two of the views of this. Joining us from Detroit, radio talk show star Nancy Skinner. And from Washington, the bureau chief of the Sunday Times of London, Sarah Baxter. Ms. Baxter, who exactly is offended by the war on terror description?
Well, it's interesting the news is coming out now about all that as Obama is going to Europe, because it's a very European thing to do. If you don't name the thing, we sort of hope it doesn't exist, and that really there are just a few jihadists out there as opposed to a real war. But President Obama just promised an extra 4,000 troops for Iran on top of the 17,000 that he's already promised to send. Did I say Iran? I
meant Afghanistan. But here's what
I do apologize.
Look, Ms. Baxter, you know Europe much.
So somebody is out there fighting a war.
Okay, but look, you know Europe, all right, and a lot of, much better than I do and some of my viewers. I'm not getting this. When you fought World War II, we were fighting the Axis powers. The Nazis were bad. Japan was bad. Italy was bad, okay? There wasn't any of this, don't offend, don't say they're not bad. And the war on terror is against terrorists. So who's offended by that? Who? Ms. Baxter?
Well, certainly a lot of people in the Muslim community in Europe are offended by it because they think that secretly we might mean them. Now, I don't think that's the case. I think we can name it the war on terror without offending anybody. There are terrorists out there. We know that. There was the 7/7 bombing of London, as well as the 9/11 bombing of America, bombings in Madrid.
Yeah, it's so absurd.
It's not a war on the...
Right. It's so absurd. Ms. Skinner, you disagree? You think the war on terror is offensive in some way?
Well, Bill, the President Obama, he swore to uphold the Constitution of the United States. He did not swear to uphold the counterproductive rhetoric of the last administration. And I think that the idea of just those words, the war on terror, what happened is he wants to go in there surgically, and actions speak louder than words. He would prefer to walk softly and carry a bigger stick. Deal with, you said Pakistan is the key to this whole situation. So when we start using words, fighting words, and start recruiting more people, then that makes our job harder.
So who's offended, Ms. Skinner, by the term
it's not about being offensive.
On terror? Who's offended?
It's not about being offensive. It's a term of recruitment, and even a lot of military generals are saying to get more terrorists into
okay, so if we say the war on terror, then jihadists are going to sign up. But if we don't say it, they're not going to sign up. Are you trying to sell that to me?
I'm saying that when you just sort of you rumble like we're going to go rumble with the bring it on, as President Bush said.
What are you doing a war? You fight it.
It's a war on who? When you're talking about World War II, those were state governments. That was Germany and Japan. Those were states. To say just to sort of somehow blur the lines between Muslims and terrorists.
What blur?
Recruits
saying it's a war on
and
terror.
makes our job harder.
You could be from
Bill.
Texas if you're a terrorist. We're going to find you. This is just insane. All right, Ms. Baxter, what is the most important thing in Britain, from the British point of view, that Barack Obama can do now in the world? What do the English people want Barack Obama to do?
Well, there are really two things. First of all, we want him to cheer us up, because we're all feeling a bit gloomy, and we're quite excited by the arrival of this glamorous new couple.
He can cheer you up.
Secondly,
maybe he should bring a hand puppet.
He's got to show us that he's got the answer for pulling us out of this economic depression.
So he has to do it, not Gordon Brown, your guy. So what I'm getting, Ms. Baxter,
Gordon Brown can't do it.
He can't do it. Okay, so what I'm getting is that Obama's got to cheer you up. So if I knew that, I would have given him a hand puppet before he left. Hello. And then Brown can't do it. Spain certainly can't.
The way to cheer us up.
So he's got to do it. Isn't that a lot, Ms. Skinner, for one human being? He's got to cheer up the world and solve the economic problem all by himself. I mean, that's a
who wants this job? Terror. I'm in Detroit, Bill. Trust me, we need some cheering up in Detroit. I think what he has to do is he has to have it's reassurance, like calm down, and that we have to have a sense of cooperation in terms of this global economic crisis.
Right.
That
and
we
if you
do
don't
have to work together.
We'll blow you up.
Well, yeah, I think that's a bit much.
Okay,
but
that was a joke.
I think he's up to the job. I think he's up to the challenge.
I hope so. There's a lot on Barack Obama's shoulders. Ladies, thanks very much. We appreciate you coming on the program. Next on the rundown, vicious.